meeting will come to order. Madam Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Stanton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Key,
Here.
Alderman Adams,
Here.
Alderwoman Arnold.
Thank you, Madam Recorder. Fellow citizens, if you would please stand, and the Vice Mayor, if she would, will lead us in prayer.
In the name of Jesus, dear Heavenly Father, please forgive us for all of our sins. Lord Jesus, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. Lord, we thank you for how you look beyond our many, many faults and you see our needs. Father God, I ask, Lord, that you will look down on each and every one of us, Lord. Father God, you know what we all stand in need of. Lord, I ask that you will bless us and bless the balance of our family, Father. And Lord, as we go through this meeting, God, I ask, Lord Jesus, that you would guide us, direct us, Lord, in the path you have us to go. Lord, help us to make every decision, Lord, be pleasing unto you. And God, I'll be so careful to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. In Jesus' holy name we pray. And everybody said amen.
Amen. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Chief, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Glen City Board of Mayor and Alderman Monthly Meeting for the month of September. Glad to see a good turnout this evening, and for those of you who are joining us virtually, we'd like to welcome you too. And the first thing we'll talk about is in recognitions, proclamations, and awards. I'd just like to again recognize my teammate, Mr. Al Moultrie, and congratulate him again from the board on his promotion to Director of Public Works.
Thank you.
Mr. Holzclaw could not be here this evening, but we'd also like to congratulate him on his promotion to Public Works Crew Chief. Both these leaders have done an exceptional job for the town, and in their new responsibilities will do even more to benefit this town, the entire community, and the staff that they belong to. And I'm very proud that they were promoted. So we will move on then to discussion and action, the meeting minutes from June 4th, 17th, and 27th of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, there are two disclaimers, if you would. Recently, within a few minutes ago, there were two errors brought to my attention. First, if you will draw your attention to the minutes of June 4th, you will notice on page, second please, number 6, that Ms. Green's signature includes a 3 after CMFO. If upon your approval, these minutes would be amended to remove that 3. And then you will pay attention to the minutes of June 17th. Alderwoman Stanton did find an error, but it's only grammatic in those minutes. And you will find on page 2 with the paragraph beginning Alderwoman Stanton, you'll find basically a double phrase, and it states, I would like to clarify that when I went to you to speak to you, to speak to you, it's just a repeat of the phrase. So with the board's approval, we would amend those minutes and correct them grammatically. Beside that, I find the minutes in good order. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes beside that? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve all or each minutes separately.
Motion to approve the minutes for June 4th, 17th, and June 27th.
Motion to approve the minutes for June 4th, 17th, and 27th as amended by Alderman Adams. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Alderwoman Stanton. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Recorder, please take a vote.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Stanton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Key,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries, and the minutes for June 4th, 17th, and 27th as amended are approved. Next item is the first section of public comments. Would anyone like to speak?
Carolyn Payne, 4818 Lassie Highway.
Ms. Payne, you are recognized. Welcome.
This started with special meeting of August the 19th, no quorum, then August 27th, and only 3 board members were present, and the majority vote carried. And what happened on that night, when we put out an agenda, it is supposed to not be vague, it is supposed to be transparent, and you all voted. I know what appropriations is. I would have been down here at that last meeting had I known that you were gonna put on there to vote for trash cans and to hire somebody else in the administrative office. Finance was Sharon Green. Is Sharon Green leaving? Good question. So we'll start with the trash cans. Well, we don't need them, and why don't we use that money to fix things that are in need of fixing down here, like our video system, video and audio. And then let's put a microphone up there in front of each person to where they can talk into them. I look up there right now and they're turned every which way in the world except facing the people that they're supposed to be facing. And I think if we got money to buy trash cans, because face it, everybody here's got trash cans. We simply don't need it. And then when it comes to the administrative part, the question is, why? Why are we hiring somebody in finance? It's not even been discussed at a workshop. There was some cross-training discussed, but it wasn't discussed about hiring. And if it is finance, then what is going on? Because Jeff, you did say we got 2 people working that could give their notice at any moment. And it's easy to figure out that Sharon Green and Sandy Harper Road. So, my point, that vote should not have been taken the other night because the mayor and every board member sitting up there, and especially our city attorney, knows you can't have a vague agenda. Those items were not on our agenda. Were they on yours? Because they're not on ours. They're not on the citizens. Again, I would have been down here and it already passed by majority, and it looks like it's gonna pass again tonight by majority. Let's get rid of that stupid iPhone, and let's put back the system in here that Irene Wells installed, which was a state-of-the-art system. You could see who was in the audience. Now it depends on when that stupid iPhone is placed, on whether or not, yeah, I see it, whether or not you can even see all the people that are up there on the board.
Ms. Payne, would you mind to wrap it?
Well, no, do I have permission to go further from anybody?
Just a few seconds, if you wouldn't mind. We have a lot
Well,
of businesses.
okay, let's get rid of that. We know we need a system down here. You can't even see who's in the audience. You can't even see sometimes the citizens that
Ms.
are
Payne, I
at the
believe
podium.
you've made your point.
And by the way, welcoming everybody, the many people that were here, let the video in the audience know.
Thank you,
Two
Ms. Payne.
citizens
Have a
showed
good
up.
evening, Ms. Payne.
2
Thank you.
citizens showed up tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Payne. Would anyone else like to speak?
Yes. Well, that's a hard act to follow, I'll tell you what time. But I listen, I believe it. David Harmon, 200 Holston Drive. We're
Mr.
buying
Harmon, you are
garbage cans.
recognized.
We're buying garbage cans for Cox to pick up our garbage. So they can cut off 2 people off of them trucks. They only need one person on them trucks. They got 3 now. They went up $5 each for each person that uses their garbage. And now we're gonna help them out by buying their garbage cans for them. And you know they're gonna cut. So why do we have to do that? Why do we have to buy the garbage cans? Why don't they buy their own garbage cans? Because they're gonna cut 2 people off each truck. You know that as well as you're sitting there. Why do we have to buy the garbage cans? What do they cost, $40,000? Is that close, Miss Green? You can shake your head, you don't have to say yes or no, you can shake your head. But the fact of the matter is, why didn't Cox buy those garbage cans? They're gonna be saving money. They're gonna save 2 people's salary. Why? You don't have an answer, I'm sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Anyone else like to speak? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to the first item on the agenda, first action item, discussion and action, second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2024-007. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2015-001, known as the stormwater ordinance. Mr. Fry, would you please briefly publish the ordinance?
Be it therefore ordained that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Bluff City, Tennessee, that Title 14, Chapter 6 of the Municipal Code is hereby amended by deleting Chapter 14, Title 14, Chapter 6, the Bluff City Municipal Code in its entirety, and replacing with the following language, which is attached here as Exhibit 1. This is our stormwater ordinance, and there were very few changes, and with those changes, we've been in compliance with all federal and state regulations and laws.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. Thank you for publishing the ordinance. At this time, I'll open the public hearing on ordinance 2024-007. Would anyone like to speak? Hearing and seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, do you have any further questions concerning this ordinance? Hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion toward this ordinance.
I'll make a motion, we accept the ordinance.
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-007 by Alderman Malone. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Adams. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Reporter, please take the vote.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Staton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Key,
Yes.
Alderman Adams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes and carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda is discussion and action, second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 2024-008. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2024-003, known as the appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Mr. Fry, would you please briefly publish this ordinance?
Whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen deem it necessary to purchase garbage containers and hire an additional employee. This is for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the town of Bluff City. The authorization for the garbage containers are $41,005.59. The authorization for the additional employee is $40,521. Be it therefore ordained by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the town of Bluff City, Tennessee, that ordinance 2024-003, that's the line item 110, general fund, be amended to read $1,832,727.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. Without further discussion, I now open a public hearing for ordinance number 2024-003. Would anyone like to speak?
Carolyn Payne,
Your address for the record, ma'am?
4818 Bluff City Highway.
Thank you, ma'am.
Everybody knows it. Right now, goes to last meeting, you all voted on those separately. Tonight, you're rolling them all into that ordinance. Sneaky, underhanded, and downright dirty. You cannot do stuff like this, Alderman, and Mayor, and Attorney. We can't do this, can we, Paul? It's supposed to be on the agenda for each item. You can't roll it in and then do it. And then I ask you, what is $40,500 finance? Are we hiring what is this person, what is their resume? And is it for Sharon to replace Sharon? Because let me tell you something, the city manager is gonna be looked at again, and in that, the job description is going to include that their abilities must be a CMFO. So I wouldn't wouldn't be voting on anything down here tonight if I was you all. Because this is dirty, sneaky, and underhanded, and you all represent the people up there. I'm down here speaking for the people. And this was wrong. We've never done this before, never, ever done this before. And is this what we're gonna look forward to for the future? And run it through here? Then I ask you, why do we only have $118,000? Where is our $700,000? We had $2.6 million. Where's it? Where did it go? Where's our little reserve? Let's talk about our reserve funds down here. Okay, it's time to get our
Ms.
reserve
Payne,
funds.
the public hearing is only relative to this ordinance.
And this is because it's in here, the
No,
amount
or,
of money
Ms.
is in
Payne,
here for this ordinance.
Ms. Payne, please concentrate on the ordinance before you.
It gives a dollar amount, $118,000. The last time it was reported down here, we had $2.6 million. It is relevant to this ordinance.
Ms.
I
Payne,
wanna
there is
know.
no mention of $118,000.
But it was read. Was it not, you read 118,000. $1,832,700. That's right.
Okay, Ms. Payne, so.
And we had 2.6.
Ms. Payne, if you would, please, any other concerns on the ordinance?
Absolutely. Why did you, the other night, you all voted for the garbage cans separately.
No, ma'am, we did not.
All right, well, look, you ran both of them together, and you did not put it on the agenda. You cannot
No,
do that.
that's not true, ma'am.
Well, I
Ma'am,
will,
that's not true.
well, then how are the people supposed to know? How are they supposed
They
to
were
know?
duly notified, ma'am.
In an ordinance that doesn't say what you're voting on?
The ordinance clearly says. what
It
we're-
does clearly what? What does it clearly say? It doesn't say what you're buying.
Ma'am, I'm sorry that you, maybe, it was a little vague for you,
No,
but.
there's nothing vague about this. I say,
All right, ma'am,
sneaky,
or any
dirty,
other thing about
underhanded.
this, please.
Absolutely, I'll keep repeating
And
it.
not everything else in the town, just this ordinance.
I said, garbage cans, do not buy them, do not vote for them tonight, and you did it the wrong way down here. You didn't list it that you were gonna be voting on those two items. It was never on the agenda to the public.
Ma'am, I
We didn't-
disagree.
But you show me where it's at.
It's in front of you,
You,
ma'am. I'm not gonna argue with you, Ms.
discussion and
Payne.
action,
Ms.
second
Payne, I
reading.
believe you've made your
Public
point.
hearing, ordinance 2024-008,
Yes,
and ordinance
Ms.
to
Payne.
amend ordinance 2024-003, known as the appropriation ordinance for fiscal year
Yes.
ending June 30, 2025. That does not say garbage cans and hire somebody. Does it?
That, ma'am, I just don't, I think maybe you don't have a good understanding.
Oh,
of
Jeff,
this.
I've got a.
And
real
please
good
wrap it up
understanding.
if you would, please, or maybe other citizens that want to
Okay,
speak.
well, no, again, I'll tell the public that's watching it, there are two citizens down here tonight.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Payne. Would anyone else like to speak? Hearing and seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, do you have any other questions concerning this?
Yes, I do.
Please, Vice Mayor, you have the floor.
First of all, Ms. Payne, I hear you. And I want to thank you for standing up and speaking out. I totally agree with all the things that are going on now, especially what I've observed. And this money, buying trash cans is the last thing we need right now. We got bigger concerns. And I would like, because I missed the last meeting, I think, I would like to go back to the table, have a workshop, discuss what are we gonna be using the money for, the new hire. If Miss Sharon happens to retire one day, no time soon, but one day, I mean, we know that she's pretty much the backbone. Let's just face it. I mean, she keeps up with the money and everything. So if we're gonna hire somebody, we wanna hire somebody where Miss Sharon will be able to train that person, that person will be able to step in and do a job just as good as Sharon. So I think if we're gonna spend money, because we know it was already approved and voted on a while back, that we can hire a city manager. We know that. We know that. So, And it's time to break that cycle. And so let's go to the table, discuss what we got, who we gonna hire, make sure that they're gonna be able to step up to the plate. It's time. We're getting ready to go into a new season. And I hope the board would agree to put this on hold and go back to the table and don't make any decisions until you're sure. Because really, with everything that's going on now, a trash can is the last thing we need. We can always come back to that. I mean, I came down here last week, it's something different, but we'll discuss that after a while. But right now, we need to go to the table as a board, because the city manager works at the pleasure of the board. And as you said, you don't work at the pleasure of me.
No, I do not.
And I didn't say you did.
I do not.
I know you don't, but you work at the pleasure of the board. Is that correct, Mr. Fry?
Correct.
Yeah,
Thank you.
says right in the charter.
I know that. And sometimes we have to be reminded, and I'm not trying to be ugly
Yeah,
with
we do need to
anybody.
be reminded, don't we?
Yes, yes. And I maintain who I am. If you're right, I'll stay with you. If you're wrong, I'll speak, we're friends, but I'll tell you, you know that. Cause I want everybody treated fair. This is other people's money. I got my water bill, $122. So let's go to the table and let's do things right and discuss it. But if you guys feel good about it, it's on you. But I'm only one vote. But if you're not sure, don't vote for something that you're not sure about, because you're messing with people's lives. And if we're gonna spend money to hire somebody, let's hire somebody right, that can bring something to the table. I mean, we got department heads. Alan runs his department. Chief runs his department. We got department heads. So we can work together.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments from the board?
This is not saying,
Alderwoman Stat, you are recognized.
this isn't saying we're buying the trash cans, correct?
Yes, it's saying we're buying the
So we
trash.
are gonna actually purchase the
Yes.
cans? Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Very good. Any other comments?
I will say that I have spoken to quite a few people who are happy about the trash cans. There were about 3, I think, of the 8 that I talked to, who said they were on the fence.
Thank you, Alderwoman Stat. Any other comments from the board?
Just one.
Alderman Malone, you are recognized.
And she brought up about the general fund. We have $2,553,090 in general fund. And what we was talking about there was have to in appropriation is to readjust the budget. In other words, this money, it was gonna be appropriated to sell stuff the budget had. It wasn't in the budget, so it's gotta be taken out of reserve and put it in, over in the thing. So that was $1,832,000.
Reserve.
Well, so there is still 700,000, it's in the reserve. Nobody's took it or whatever. So I mean, and I tried to explain it to you the other day on the phone, that it's just, take out this pot, put it over here so you can buy something. One thing, on the trash cans, I've spent a lot of thinking and studying stuff over it. And, is it worth the money? What's the advantage? What's the disadvantage? Trying to clear my mind up, because I'm cheap, I guess. I don't like spending no money unless I have to or need to. But I look out my front door, and this lady's got 2 small trash cans, and they're turned over and trash all over her yard. Look over here, and this one's turned over, and I walk, Mondays or Tuesdays, anybody can go. When you drive down our beautiful parkway here, in front of the thing here, there's a trash bag sitting there. And occasionally you'll find a trash can, and greatly, some of us do have trash cans and some don't, but it's strode out and it's nasty looking. And they got to thinking, well, not only just buying the trash cans to make it look good and be able to put more trash in there, and we're talking about a 95-gallon can, it's already got a lid on it. And when it rains, if you got a trash can out there and it rains, all that water going in that trash can, it starts to bring in mosquitoes and other And now with all these new stuff coming in from wherever, you know, it's going through, is creating a hazard at people's homes and stuff. And then to point on the trash thing, we did have several workshops and stuff and talked about trash cans, I know a lot. And, these, overall, I think it's looking good for the city. I think it's a thing. And like I say, I talk to tons of people and stuff, and we have some people that says, well, I wouldn't spend $1 for nothing, don't care what you're gonna give us, you know. And then you have some that says, well, I just don't care. But the majority out of them says, I think it's a good idea, it'll help me, and I don't have a lot of trash. Maybe I don't have to take that can down there every 3 weeks or 2 weeks, you know, instead of every week, you know, with a little bit in it. And also, and brought it up, it's been brought up several times here, and Dave pointed out that we, about these dual trash men. Well, the reach trucks don't work on Mill Street, the Graveyard, Railroad Street, just anywhere you wanna go, Tennessee Avenue, most everywhere you go, you're gonna have the truck pull up, at least one, but mainly 2 men to reach up and grab that trash can and hook it to the back so it can dump it and stuff on it. So, it's gonna maybe help out in River Bluff and maybe Lakeview Drive where you got a straight shot and a truck can go get them. But when you go all over town, you watch these guys, and the bigger trash cans means that you can bring them out there instead of picking up 4 or 5 cans. One guy, I noticed the other day, had 7 cans. It was probably between him and his daughter, but anyway, there was 7 cans out. And, you know, this would eliminate the 2. My daughter has that service, and what it is, if she's got over and got extra stuff, she calls Cox and tells them what she's got. They go ahead and come through the regular can. Next day, they come through and pick up her overage. So if she's got something she wants to throw away, then she works out, and it's not coming back to the city and so forth. And she pays, she got a coupon book, and I think, I'm gonna say $24 is hers, and I think hers will end up in the next couple of months, and it'll probably go to $26. And now, you know, she's in a subdivision, but she's outside the city limits of Bluff City, so we are getting a deal. And, so, when you look at the whole picture and stuff of it, and you go down through Johnson City, you go to Elizabeth, you go to Bristol, and you do see the cans and stuff, you don't see a bunch of bikes strode all over the street and all over the yard and stuff. It's just a better looking town. That's just my opinion.
Can I say something there?
Thank you, Alderman Malone. Vice Mayor, you're recognized.
Okay, trash cans are nice, but don't you think, and as I said up here, don't you think we've got work here to do? Look at that big hole in the wall. Look at the ceiling. Couldn't that money be used to, fix up in here? I mean, you know, what's important? I mean, I understand about the trash cans, you know, and I understand about hiring people, but first things first, you know? I mean, look, I understand what you're saying.
I can speak to, if you will look at the budget, I think the money is to redo this building, the roof outside, and holes in the wall, when you get the roof fixed and stuff. There is money
Yeah.
taken out of the budget.
We've been
It's
talking about it
already
for 2
approved.
years.
Well, it's in the budget this year, because our building is paid for it. So instead of spending the other $68,000 for another payment, we can take that money and put it back in our interest rate.
It'd be nice if we did that.
It's in there.
All right, we've had some good discussion on this ordinance. Ben, you have anything to add? Or?
Yep,
Great.
I think everything's been said.
All right, very good. If the board has no more discussion, I would entertain a motion toward this ordinance.
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-008.
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-008 by Alderman Adams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Malone. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Reporter, please take a vote.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Staton, Keith,
No.
Alderman Adams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries and the ordinance passes. Next item on the agenda is discussion and action, application of TDEC, or actually SWIG, Asset Management Plan Grant for up to $375,000. With us this evening is Mr. Calvin Clifton and Mr. Austin Smith of Mattern and Craig. Gentlemen, you may present when ready.
Thanks, Mayor. Alderman, I came before this board several times and told you that this grant was available and it would be a zero match. And we stood by that for over a year. And the state, for whatever reason, came back and said, basically the town is pre-approved for this grant, but now there's a match amount. And we were all disappointed and shocked. But the town is in a really good position right now with some projects that have been moving forward for several years, and Austin's gonna update you on some of the current projects. But the town has received a good bit of grant money through the years. And I wanna talk to you a little bit about what an asset management plan is, what it does for the town, what it does for the folks that are at the state level that are appropriating these funds to help disperse those evenly across the state. The state came up with something a few years ago called the infrastructure scorecard. Every utility in the state has this, and I just kind of blew this up. It's in a handout that I gave you. The state uses this to determine where is the water system and the wastewater system. Are they checking all the boxes? Do they have work order systems? Do they have meter testing? Do they have capital improvement plans, the types of things that Alan deals with every day? One of the big things that the state came back and wanted to start using was this asset management plan. And what that does, it basically takes the assets that the town has, being your water and wastewater infrastructure, everything from the pipes in the street, the valves, the water meters, your water plant. And the first thing we would do would be to inventory that so that we know what's in the ground and what are those assets that the town owns and operates. And then we would do an assessment and determine what the condition and the age of all those assets. You might have a section of pipe that's been in the ground for 50 years, or you may have a section of pipe that's only been in the ground on Main Street for a year. So we would put an age on those, a material type, and what condition is it in, and a life expectancy. Pipe that we're putting in the ground today that is ductile iron, that pipe may last 100 years. That's a really good life expectancy. So we would identify all that, and that's the assessment and evaluation phase. And then the last thing will help you to rank those projects, or those needs, I should say. Plan on those that we know that we have this pipe that's been in the ground for 50 years. Alan's had to fix 14 breaks on this block, if you will. And we know that piece of pipe is going to need to be replaced. We also we know that it needs to be upsized because we've had growth in this area. So we might replace a 6-inch pipe with an 8-inch pipe so we could provide better flow or fire flow. And then we would put that in a ranking so that we're not just going out here and spending money without having a game plan or a roadmap, if you will. And then we would use that to identify funding sources. And that's what we're talking about, is getting the asset management plan to the state of Tennessee so they know that we're planning and we're doing it correctly. We're not just taking money and spending it over here or over here. We know where that money needs to be spent, and we're doing it in an educated way. So that's just a little bit about What the asset management plan does, I will talk to you a little bit about the water system. That's basically everything from your plant to the meter. And then we'll talk to you a little bit about the wastewater system. That's everything from the customer service lateral to the wastewater plant. Bluff City does not operate a wastewater plant. That's a good thing. So we don't have to look into that. So, these funds that we're talking about today are part of the, what we call the ARPA funds. They were made available through the American Rescue Plan Act. That was passed right after COVID in an effort to stimulate the economy and address some of the infrastructure needs across the board. So I got off track there. The asset management plan is just that. It becomes a plan, a living, breathing plan. It's not something that we pull together another study and we put it on the shelf. It's something that we use practically daily. We update that annually. We say, okay, we've made these improvements. We've made these replacements. So we update that. To say that 50-year-old pipe that's been fixed 14 times is no more. We now have this piece of pipe and it was put in on this date and so on. Second part of that is mapping. The town's got some mapping, but it's not what we would like to have. It's not complete. So we're gonna use these grant funds to map, to use these funds to build a map and put together what we call a geographic information system. And there's already software out there that we've discovered that is at no cost to the town that we can use to do that. So that's the second part. And then we're gonna use part of it to do the utility rate study and review. So we know what the town is charging for the water and wastewater rates is adequate. We're not charging what I used to call a artificially low rate. We're gonna charge what it actually costs the town to do business. So, and then the last piece of that is to develop a capital improvement plan, where we take this list of projects that comes out of our document and we prioritize those and we fund those. So we know that we're gonna need $50,000 in 2025, we're gonna need $75,000 in 2026 and so on, to keep our systems, our water and wastewater systems running properly, efficiently, and you're not having all these overflows and water main breaks and those types of things. So, the same thing on the wastewater side. The one thing in the wastewater side is the condition assessment of the sanitary sewer pipes themselves. We would recommend that the town, we would do the inspection of about 10,000 feet of the utilities, the sanitary sewer pipes and the manholes. So we know what's underground. We actually video that and we see the condition it's in. And again, when was it installed? What condition is it in? How long do we expect it to live? So we know what we're gonna be replacing. We would do the same thing with the mapping. We know that we've got about 670 sewer connections, and then we know that we've got about 10,000 feet of pipe. But we wanna put all that into a map, a living, breathing map. Same thing with the water system. I mentioned the quantities there. The water system, we believe is about 182,000 linear feet, about 1,014 connections. So we're gonna put all of that information into not only a map, but a database, so we can click on a piece of pipe on a map, and it would pull up a live report as to what size the pipe is and all the information we have. If we click on a manhole, we have the same thing. We'll have the inspection information and so on. So I know I'm talking fast. I wanted to lay all this out for you. And again, when we first started talking about this, we were very excited about the prospect of doing this and being able to do it with zero match. But again, that fell by the wayside. And what you have in front of you there, the town is now looking to get upwards of $250,000 in grant money from the state. And the town's cash match would be in a neighborhood, it would be $36,752. So you're putting that much that much money forward into your system, and you're getting $250,000 in return, and you're building these tools. And these tools will check off, I think one of the, it basically checks off all the red boxes. Because if you pull this up right now on TDEC's system, it says that the town of Bluff City does not have an asset management plan. So we're gonna address that. The town doesn't have GIS mapping. We'll address that. Unaccounted for water loss, we're addressing that as we speak. We're already doing that. The age of the water plants, 50+ years. Well, Austin's already working on a project that will address that. So what I'm saying, and over system-wide map, you know, we have bits and pieces of mapping, but we'll have one comprehensive map. So I know I threw a lot of information at you, I apologize, but you do have everything that I've went over here in front of you, and I'm here to answer your questions. And Austin is here as well. He attends your meetings regularly, and he can update you on some of our ongoing projects. So I'm here for you to answer any questions.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Kelvin, some of our water system, I guess, going from spring down, does that cover anything coming down like Dry Branch Road and Mount Hope, or is it just in the city limits?
It's everything in the cities, or in the town system.
Yeah.
Anything that the town owns, operates, and maintains would be covered by this.
And that's one better, you know, our main line coming in, you know, for the spring.
All of Bluff City Waterworks.
So all of it being.
All the way from the plant to
That's what I'm
the
getting
line.
at, because
Right.
I knew we do have a lot of problems
Yeah,
with that.
Your utility systems they don't stop at the town limits.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So, yeah, it's anything that falls within your utility system.
Bristol or whatever, so.
Right. And Alan, I'm also here if you have any questions, or if I've covered this too fast, I'm here for you.
Any other questions, Mr. Clifton?
So basically, this is gonna serve as a kind of a preventative, once we are certain of the age of things, that when they were last serviced, or even when they were put in, but, it's gonna be a preventative type, that's really gonna provide help down the line when trying to foresee future problems.
Yes, I left, believe it or not, I left something out. What we're looking at is a proactive approach. And this is something that, not just Tennessee, but all 50 states are doing this. We're already doing these asset management plans for many of our other clients. We've been doing them in Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee for quite some time. But that's exactly right, to identify identify what we have, evaluate its condition, and then determine what needs to be fixed, replaced, and when, and then how do we fund that? It gives us a path forward.
I know that a lot of HOAs are doing these studies to foresee future problems, and that was because some terrible things happened.
Absolutely.
And, they could have used this, so this is really fascinating.
And I would also imagine that having this as a living document that, for lack of a better term, when grant money does come available, we're ready to go and fire that off as soon as that's available. So we're first in, instead of having to react, oh wait, there's money available, let's figure out a way to go get it. This is gonna be, as far as our water and sewer system, it's gonna be ready to go anytime money's available.
Yes,
I like it.
I think the key word is proactive, and the states stop short of saying there will be no grants without an asset management plan, but that's where they're headed.
That was my next question.
They're gonna use this to rank utilities and say, if the utility is not taking, these steps to assess, then we're not gonna entertain grant applications. And we've seen that in Virginia already.
Any other
Well,
questions?
just think the money that, like Alan and his crew and stuff, that they spend out there looking for the line.
Yes.
I mean, and it's, when they know it's got a problem, but they don't know if it's run this way or that, or whatever. If they get that map, they can pull up there and say, well, there's where the line goes, and can do it, and, I think they'll pay for themselves what time they save and what time they spend out there looking and searching and trying to figure out when it was and what it is and what's under there, you know?
Part of the match will be, Alan and his guys will be working with our staff to go out and collect the data. So, you know, the town's match was total was $36,000, but the town's staff will also be contributing in-kind time to go out and help us identify and map and evaluate the assets.
Are you saying, and I'm just uneducated on it, so time that they spend, that's coming off of 36,000?
No,
Okay.
that's in addition to,
Yeah, in
Okay,
addition
okay.
to,
it would have been upwards of 57,000.
yeah, 58,000 originally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who will maintain this information? Like Ben said, this is gonna be like a living document where it's gonna be added to.
That's something that we can oversee to update as we do work, and gradually, we would like for the town to be able to do that. The software is, it's easy for me to say, because I don't know anything about it, but the software can be learned and can be modified. The key is getting a good, accurate base map and getting that data in place. And then if, say you replace a water meter, you go in and change that information in your system, and you know that water meter was changed on September the 3rd of 2024, and you expect that water meter to last,
10
20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know that, so.
Any other questions of the board? Well, I think that I speak for Director Moultrie when I say that this comes to the board with our highest recommendation. That the only question is tonight, I ask for your authority to sign the documents to begin the application process for the grant. We have not yet been awarded the grant. With your authority this evening and approval, I will issue a letter to the Matter and Craig firm and basically committing the town of Bluff City and allowing the firm to apply for us. That's it. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, I'll tell you what, let's break this up if you don't mind.
Okay, that's
And I'll
fine.
bring you up in the town manager's report.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, yeah, on this discussion and action point, the application for the SWIG Asset Management Plan Grant for up to $375,000. You've heard a very thorough explanation and you've been able to ask questions of Mr. Clifton. At this point, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the application for the grant by Alderman Stanton.
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Adams. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Staton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Key,
Yes.
Alderman Adams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries and passes unanimously. Tomorrow, I've already drafted a letter. Tomorrow, we'll issue a letter to the firm. We'll move forward. Now, beginning the town manager's report, I'll ask Mr. Austin Smith to come to the podium and brief us on current projects.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'll be quick tonight. Everything's going good. Everything's moving right along. The two projects I want to discuss is, first off, the water treatment plant. As I left the office today, we received 90% plans for that, so
Thank you.
we will give those to the mayor and we'll review those and get everything buttoned up there. Next is the Carter Street sewer project. We had the pre-con last month, August 15th, to begin everything in motion on that. Since then, I've received all the bonding documentation and everything from the contractor and have submitted those to first. Once we get approval for that, I'll go ahead and send Thomas Construction the notice to proceed. And so start getting work done on October 7th, so. Other than that, that's all the updates I have tonight. If anyone's got any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions for Mr. Smith?
You said potential start date is October 7th?
October 7th.
Yes.
And by the way, Mr. Smith, I did meet with Principal Hare and Director Carter of the Sullivan County Department of Education. They're aware of our potential closures, and they have a traffic plan that's solid to be able to flex for the work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. All right, moving on in my report. First of all, an apology. Unfortunately, in the last couple of days, we've had to close the town hall due to plumbing issues. And Mr. Moultrie and I did our best to make a fix of the situation. Found out it was above our capability, and we brought in other folks. Even as of today, this morning, I made a decision to once again close the town hall for business and not expose our employees to any of the noxious odor, or the public for that matter. But Mr. Moultrie and his team were able to go out in our main sewer system and find an extensive problem in the main line. They did rectify that problem about, 1,700 or so today. We are going to follow up as a staff with the plumbing firm just to make sure, not to get down in the weeds, but we replaced the toilet in the small bathroom. We did the things that we could do. We will go ahead and conduct smoke testing inside the building and of our ventilation system just to make sure that we're solid here. And I will also ask for an assessment of the entire plumbing system of the inside of the building. Just to be safe, that will be documented and for your review if you'd like to see it. So again, I apologize to the public. It's my responsibility, but we were doing our best to rectify what we found today to be a way bigger situation than we realized. So next thing on the agenda is a Wells Park improvements. Last Friday, the bid session closed for the replacement of a portion of the decking at Wells Park. I am in receipt of 4 separate bids that are being reviewed now. More to come on the replacement project of a 65 by 25 foot section of the decking near the shelter. We are thick in Heritage Day planning at this point, and just a reminder to the public and all concerned that actually this year we will have Heritage Days, which will be Friday the evening before at Wells Park on September 27th. And then our full day, the 30th annual, on September 28th. More to follow on it. It seems to be, it's going to be a wonderful event. Next, you've probably noticed, if you've been out around town, some improvements on Holston Drive to the rail crossing. They are ongoing, and at this point, they're working on signaling. Once the new signaling's in place, then that intersection or that trestle will be repaved and resurfaced to make it much smoother and easier to operate. And then the board will remember, and the public as well, that we are in receipt of a very generous grant from TDOT of $10,400. And we will actually be charged with the restriping of the road and some other signage. And we do have, that will be a reimbursable grant. So once all the work is complete by Southern Railroad, we'll move forward in the bid process on that. Multimodal grant, or TDOT multimodal grant, is moving right along. Got an update just today. And the utility coordination and right-of-way acquisition phase is running about 3 months behind or so. And looking out at Mr. Clifton, he works very closely with the TDOT, and he has a personal relationship with our friend Commissioner Ely, like I do. And they're doing some things at TDOT right now that are pretty heavy duty. So 3 month delay is not a problem, but it is tracking right along. I am in receipt of a paving assessment that Mr. Smith spearheaded for me, and I mentioned that to the board in work session and casually. as far as the condition and approximate cost of having some resurfacing done on Lakeview Drive, Weaver Branch Road, Carter, and with one interior road, Park Swirly from the town limit sign to Carter Street. As promised to the board, I have moved forward in sharing those assessments. I'll be meeting with Johnson City MTPO sometime in the 1st of October to discuss perhaps obtaining some local funding to help us out on the state feeders. And then I'll be coming back to the board in workshop to discuss both and the interior road as well as far as the resurfacing project. I did touch base this last week prior to the holiday with the Southern Railroad in regard to the potential lease near McClellan and Main Street Drive Ranch Road, that property that touches our property at the, I guess you'll call it the Shoats Ford Swinging Bridge Trailhead. I expect within the next 2 weeks a draft lease agreement from the railroad that Mr. Brown and I will review, and I'll come back to you. You're already aware of this project, so I just want to keep you up to date on that. Beside that, I just wanted to thank the entire staff for all the things that they do. Some you see, some you don't, but they still do them. And you know, of all the calls I get on both my phones every day, about 1% of them are derogatory. About 99% of them are positive and affirmative, and they talk about how good the staff have been to them, or how quickly we reacted, or how Greg's department went above and beyond policing and public safety. So we should be really proud. Now, I'll take just a minute to maybe clear up some misconceptions I heard tonight. No one has announced retirement on this staff. No. We do have some senior employees on the staff. That is a fact. We do. It is my opinion, and it's shared by others, that number one, it's physically feasible to think a little bigger and perhaps add an additional position to finance and administration to better serve the customer. Also, it is my thought that if we brought in the right entry-level employee, and by the way, the money that we just passed in the ordinance is both for salary and the full benefit package that we pay for, $11,210. That's how much it costs us to insure folks, and the town pays that. They don't. It's the right way to do business. Secondly, in regard to the trash cans, this board's duty and responsibility, as well as that of the staff, is to maintain order, control, the sanitation of the town. That is our duty, according to the charter. In regard to the recent increases, we did increase the trash rate because our contractor increased the rate on us. That's a fact of life. That's the cost of doing business. We're still far more competitive than other municipalities or even the county in our rate. And you won't beat our service. The Cox organization has been a good partner to us for 27 years. They're willing to go down behind my house on Pine Isle Avenue that you could barely bring a car down. And it takes 2 men to come off the back of that truck and get 3 or 4 different cans or bags and throw them in the truck. I personally witnessed it. Also, the cans that we are going to provide are unique to Bluff City with our own seal that we are taking out of not the figures I heard tonight, but a very robust unrestricted fund balance in the general fund. Why have we saved the money if we're not gonna help somebody with it, is my question. Also, the cans, 95 gallons, have 10-inch wheels that you can roll just about with one finger. They're ergonomically perfect. Yes, they may save us some money in the end, because we are on year-to-year agreements with Cox Disposal. We have a 5-year gig. There isn't one out there anymore in today's business world. If you can sign a 3-year contract today in the business world, you've really done something. We're not evergreened. Maybe it will prevent future increases by the Cox organization if we can make things easier. And beside that, I underline in chapter 1 of our charter, we are responsible for the sanitation of the town. And I think that we all agree that it may have got out of hand. That concludes my remarks for this evening. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the second session of public comments. Anyone else like to speak?
Carol Payne, 4818, Plus City Highway.
Ms. Payne, you are recognized.
Nothing got out of hand down here, maybe except the understanding of what the board did and what you did tonight, in which I pointed it out. And now never tell me that I don't understand what I read on the agenda, because I certainly do. I have real good skills. So, you know, those trash cans, it's just like, we need to pave an awful lot, and I'm not sure if streets and highways, does that fall under general funds, or is that listed under water and sewer? I'm not sure. Is it general funds?
The budget is published, Ms. Payne. It's online for me.
Well, the last time I looked, it's not on the website, but that's okay. I can look again, and you can make
It actually is.
Well, you can make it easy for me. I mean, is it under general funds or water and sewer? One simple.
Sanitation fund is a separate fund, as is the general fund, as is the water and sewer fund. They're all separate funds.
Sanitation, I know what sanitation is. Sanitation falls under general funds. For goodness sakes, I know that. Don't try to double talk up here. And sewer is sewer. And you jumped, I couldn't help it. You jumped from Mather and Craig and put them down the line because of the news of being delivered, the $36,000. And I mean, we're talking about controlling our money up here. And no, we can't take from general funds and put it into water and sewer, and I'm well aware of that. But we don't have to buy marching little trash cans. Let me tell you something, I worked for a garbage company for 5 years. Garbage is dirty. I've ridden on a residential truck, a front end loader, and a roll-off, because I was required to know what company I worked for. So once a year, I had to put my happy little ass in those trucks.
Please refrain from the
My happy
profanity,
little
Ms.
butt in those trucks. And your trash is dirty. And, you know, everybody, as far as I know, has trash cans down there. And yeah, they might be smaller, and they're not the great old big ones, and they might not have the lid on them. But my goodness, like I said, new video equipment down here, folks. How about that? Spend the money where the money needs to be spent. And as for the asset management, congratulations, that is so well needed. And so many years ago, we should have done that, and yes, desperately. And it will, Alan, I know you can learn how to do that system because you're smart. And now that you're director, another responsibility on you, Alan. You'll be able to get a hold of that one real quick, because you know where the meters go. You know the manholes. You'll be able to update that system in a heartbeat.
All right, Ms. Payne, what you mind?
Right, well, I'm just saying, you know, you felt it necessary to totally explain yourself again tonight about everything, because I did come down here and I did have a lot to say, and I've got more to say. But if we got so much money, I'm telling you, we're gonna pick up hiring a city manager again.
All right, Ms. Payne,
We were told
please go ahead and wrap
tonight
it up if you don't
that we
mind.
had plenty of money for that.
Ms.
It's like
Payne.
3 minutes up.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, yeah,
Well, thank you.
absolutely. Thank
You all
Ms.
have a
Payne.
lovely evening. Jeff, I wish you'd close the building Monday when the stink happened.
Thank you, Ms. Payne. Anyone else like to speak? You coming up, Mr. Harmon? I see it, you're itching.
I gotta ask Jerry over here. David Harmon, 200 Hosted Road. I thought
Harmon, you already-
I thought we were supposed to have garbage cans, right down by my house. You'll see 2 covered garbage cans out there if I have to. Actually, I have a little old half a bag of garbage every week, cause I eat out a lot. I'm lazy, I can't cook. But we're supposed to have garbage cans out there. Am I wrong? You know the law. I got 2 attorneys sitting there, they know the law.
The ordinance specifies that, Mr. Harmon.
We're supposed to have garbage cans.
Yes, sir. You
Then
provide-
so you're gonna complain, we gotta have these, we gotta spend $40-some thousand on garbage cans because people don't have garbage cans? That's sort of like, well, there's people running up down the road 100 miles an hour, but we can't do nothing about it because we just won't enforce the law. That's sort of dumb, Jerry. Really, if you're supposed to have garbage cans, I got an extra one, I'll loan you one, all right? Make them get garbage cans, but don't go out and spend $40-some thousand on a garbage can. For goodness sakes alive, make them have garbage cans. I was told I had to have a garbage can. I got 4. Don't use but one, but I've got 4 with covers on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon.
Thank you for your kind words today, Mr. Harmon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Would anyone else like to speak? Hearing and seeing none, second session public comments now closed. We'll now hear a report from our own council.
This week, my office will start collecting, the delinquent taxes from last year.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Next item on the agenda, discussion and action, the financial report. Ms. Sharon, would you please?
Fund balances, July, as of July 31st, 2024.
My design,
General fund, $2,553,190. Sanitation fund, $31,995. Special police fund, $4,550. Debt service, $112,629. Sinking fund, $3,094. Water sewer, $792,915. This is the total money that we have in the bank, $3,498,273.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for speaking up, appreciate it.
Members of the board, any questions concerning the financial report? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the financial report?
Motion to approve the financial report by Alderman Adams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderwoman Stafford. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Staton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Key,
Yes.
Alderman Adams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries and passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the departmental reports. First up, my good friend Chief Greg Pugh, Police and Public Safety.
Good evening, Mayor, board members,
Good evening, sir.
Mr. Fry and Sharon. For the month of August, we had a pretty busy month. We answered 184 calls, we issued 309 citations, 111 warnings, patrolled 8,643 miles, had 42 arrests, 45 offense reports, had 10 alarms, 12 accidents, 3 animal calls, 42 MSDs. Had 1 domestic situation, had 6 DUIs, had 4 drug violations. Everybody's doing well, working hard, continue to train and get better, and very proud of everybody. The 21st of September, trying to coordinate the day, talk to some people, it's National Safety Check Day. Correct, is on Saturday. And Lieutenant Watson, myself, and Officer Roger Dalton are trying to coordinate, get some things together so we can do something we've done here in the past. I want to coordinate with you, Mayor, make sure that day's a good day here at Town Hall.
I'd heard a rumor of that, but we'll sit down and talk. I
And-
believe it would be, Chief.
Hopefully, because the following week will be Heritage Days, which we will be offering to the citizens on that day, any type of safety check or new seat they need. But it's good to take part in those days if we can, so we were trying to do that and, made contact with, the lady who's over the car seat stand, and we'll be able to get all we need, so we'll have plenty. So that's what we're kinda looking at. If it works out, we can coordinate, then we can maybe get some with the advertising or something if you can to help with that, but, everything is going good. Mr. Fry, you helped us out with some things, appreciate it. Some things we're working on to help some citizens we got together, and I think we're on the right road there. So hopefully there'll be some relief coming to some areas in the town, and some other letters been set out. So if you're getting concerns from citizens, we are working on some property issues. It's been addressed pretty aggressively, so we're doing the best we can on that. So thanks again for your time, your help on that, Mayor. Thank you, and board members, thank you. And now I'll entertain any questions or concerns.
No, Chief, just want to commend you on a great month. I mean, members of the board, you will notice that, yes, the Chief Deputy's Department did issue 309 citations, but they also issued 111 warnings, which are mostly safety related, moving or non-moving violations. I'll call your attention to the arrest, and the chief, 42 arrests in the month, and that number is climbing. Greg, I looked a while ago, you're averaging 37.5 arrests a month at this point. So, drug violations, 4, DUIs, 6 on our roads. So, you know, with the department that you have and the tasks that you have before you, you do your level best to keep our roads safe. We greatly appreciate it.
I wouldn't know any of this except for reading it.
Yeah, you know, and all these miles of patrol, you see tickets and patrolling streets, keep people safe there, but also at night, these guys are out here on the beat, on these little streets.
Yeah.
They're checking businesses, we're putting out door check cards, we're pulling doors. We're doing a lot of those things behind the scene in the dark that nobody sees. You know, and there's lots of stats you don't report here, like fatalities, certain issues, bad crimes. Prevention in our job's key, and I think our guys do a super good job of preventing a lot of things. So, very proud, thank you all, appreciate you. We couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for the support of everyone sitting up there. So I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much,
Yes, sir.
Chief.
Thank you all, good evening.
All right, we'll move along then. Director Moultrie's been called away, and I know he stated before the meeting that he did not have a written prepared report for the board. So if you'll allow me to surmise, since we work together every single day, the water treatment plant is operating as it should. We're producing about 260 gallons a minute, 24 hours a day. The tank level has been approximately in between 45 and 50 feet as an average. Alan and his crew did reduce 4 leaks to my memory thus far. There were some challenges with the hot weather and rain, and as far as keeping up with our mowing, but it's starting to slow down a little bit now, and we're able to go back and refine some areas. And in the sewer department, there again, we using the very gracious gift of the jetter that we were able to buy here a while back helped us reduce a big problem right out here in the main line in front of this city hall today, and we're thankful for it. With that tool, we were able to work on that. And also, we do have a regimen of sewer maintenance that has been going on for a good while. And today was a lesson to us. We're probably gonna go back and look at the list of priorities on where we maintain. And that's, again, like Calvin stated, a living document, if you wanna say that. Beside that, all our services are as they should be. We react to work orders in a very timely manner. We do attempt to pick up brush around the entire town on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Work orders always do have priority. You'll find if you throw a bunch of grass out, there's probably gonna be one of our trucks trucks go by and grab it up before you even know it's gone. So we're real proud of that. And then, beside that, Alan's department are not only good, hard-working teammates of mine, but they really care about what they're doing. You know, you can't get mad at somebody when you find out that, you know, they were gonna go down and get some diesel, but they stopped and they helped 2 people change a tire on the way down. I don't think we ever need to lose sight of that. You know, yeah, we have a mission here, and we manage money and we lead people. But, you know, I don't think that the little things that we do, like maybe a weed eater might go up on a little bit more on a bank of a lady that was recently widowed. Is that against the law? Maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that as long as I am the leader and there's a way that we can help and it is moral, legally, and ethically right, we're gonna do it that way. We're gonna do it that way. So anyway, if Mr. Moultrie comes back in and has other comments, we'll bring them back up. Without that, I do not see any county commissioners. So we'll move on, if you don't mind, to the board's comments. Alderman Malone, your comments, sir.
Well, thank everybody for coming, and the positive in the news brings it out so everybody learns.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing, in September the 10th, 10 o'clock, the Host and Heritage Museum behind the ICC building is gonna have the ribbon cut at 10 o'clock. And we started on that 3 years ago in October, when we actually got our charter and got 501c. So it's been 3 years making, and helped by the citizens and volunteers and the city for supporting it, or it wouldn't be possible. And of course, it's not done by no means, but there's a lot of hard work, and we hope to bring some thoughts and stuff back in. And main thing to kids is to stuff that we've experienced in our lifetime is that they can do. And just one of the things that we have is a one-horse buggy, I guess you call it a court buggy or a doctor's buggy, that Calvin's family has loaned us thing, and it's been their family since 1867. So we're very proud to have that. So it's kind of supporting his company and stuff as supporting it. And we're sure when we get open, there's going to be a lot of stuff that people says, oh, I've got this in the basement, or I've got that, or I want you to have mom's this or dad's that, and so forth in it. So we tried to get a skeleton thing of exhibits in it, and it really make it great. And we just want to thank everybody for what they've done and the board, and like I say, everybody's invited September 10th.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Alderwoman Staff.
I'd like to thank everybody who came out. And I do listen to you. I listen to you, and I'm making decisions that I think are best. But I do hear you. All the teams are just doing great. And I meant that. I wouldn't have known any of that was going on. It makes you feel good to live in a town where you feel safe. And I think we all feel very safe here. I'm looking forward to the asset report. I think that's gonna be a really valuable tool. Yeah. Keep on chugging. Is that the thing? Keep on. I just stated. Trucking. I keep on chugging there.
Well, thank you, Lord. Madam Vice Mayor.
You know, been 25 years, and as I sit here, my heart's broken. It breaks my heart because things that has taken place. I don't understand, and I said and I waited to hear somebody speak up about what took place when our employees were sitting over there in that smell. That is unacceptable. I reached out to everybody. You reached out to Jerry, I think, Mr. Jerry. And I thank you, Alderwoman Staton, for stepping up and reaching out, and you and I both calling the plumber. Our employees or nobody should have to ever work in those situations. And I am here to tell you right now, God placed me on this board for a reason and a season. And I will continue to stand up and speak out for the people, for what is right, and for our employees. And I'm also here to tell you, if the board don't help you, we'll find somebody that will, because I want everybody treated fair. Titles don't impress me. So, as I said, I will continue to stand up, and speak out for what is right. And it's all right to say no.
All right, thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Alderman Adams.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Hiring an employee and buying some trash cans for our citizens isn't shady or anything like that. I think everybody up here has the best intentions for our people in our town. That's the way I conduct myself, and I think everybody up here does it the same way. So, you know, we may disagree, but I think all of us are trying to act in our town's best interest and our people's best interest, so, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, at this time, is there any old business to discuss? Hearing none, is there any new business to discuss? Hearing none, with no further business, I declare this meeting adjourned.